Hi everyone, my name is Nikunj Bajaj, co-founder and CEO at TrueFoundry, and today I'm going to explain you how TrueFoundry assists a machine learning developer in their journey for deploying a machine learning model. So to begin with, the developer would need to allocate some infrastructure where they are going to deploy a model. TrueFoundry solves this by introducing a concept of Workspace. Think of a workspace as a cluster which has a group of services. This group can be decided based on the environment like staging or production. It can also be decided based on projects or teams as well. The developers can also add collaborators at the level of workspace, so they can share their workspace with different developers as editor, viewer, or admin. Besides this, the next step that they would want to do is deploy a quick prototype. And every prototype is basically a service on TrueFoundry with its own endpoint. In this case, we are showing a fast API endpoint where they can expose a model as a service and expose this API endpoint to the production engineer who will integrate their model with the product. And here they can actually try out the model by passing in the inputs and checking what kind of output is the model getting. The next step would be getting some feedback via business stakeholders, let's say using a web app. So they can actually quickly deploy web apps using open source libraries like Grid.io and Streamlit, where a business user can quickly get inputs to your model, run the inference, get the output, and flag if something seems off. After this, once the developer is satisfied with the model, they would probably want to do a more production-ready deployment, where they would want to make sure that their deployments are versioned. So TrueFoundry assists them in making sure that they have visibility on exactly which pods the deployment is happening. Each of the deployment is versioned so that if any code or model changed, they can track exactly what changed from one version to the other. Production systems also require developers to take care of things like secret management, to which TrueFoundry assists them using a concept of secrets foundry and environment variables. And we also make sure that they can track their costs at each service level. So like they can basically make sure if any particular service is taking up too much cost. On this note, we also make sure that we follow some of the best engineering practices with respect to deployment. So you can actually do CI/CD, integrate TrueFoundry's deployment systems with your CI/CD pipelines. We integrate with GitHub Workflows, GitLab, Jenkins, everything. Besides this, if you wanted to do testing of different versions of your model, you could actually shape the traffic and run an A/B test of your models as well. And these A/B tests, the performance of these A/B tests can actually be tracked on our monitoring dashboards. So imagine that this is like the first version of your model. This is the second version of your model. You can check what are the prediction distributions, actual distributions looking like, the model performance looking like for each of these different segments in the distribution. You can track if any of your data has been drifted by checking the feature level distributions as well. And adding this kind of monitoring is basically one line of code in your predict function where you log your predictions, and then later when you have access to your actuals, you can also log your actuals. Besides this, TrueFoundry services automatically come up with a hosted Grafana dashboard where you can track your CPU, memory, GPU requirements, and also how many requests is the service getting, what is the latency and stuff. So monitoring is taken care of by default. And lastly, once you've figured out that something in your service is wrong and you would like to retrain your model or something, TrueFoundry allows you to deploy your retraining jobs as well. So you could actually be creating pretty much any service that you want and deploy that as well, like as a Docker container or directly from the source code. TrueFoundry runs either as a public cloud or it is also available to be run on your own cloud. You can actually connect any of your Kubernetes clusters. We have full support for connection with Kubernetes clusters. You basically So we have full support for connecting Kubernetes clusters where you can add your own cluster across any region and connect it with TrueFoundry. Thank you.